Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Councilman Board Payne, we're gonna get this entitlement committee session started today. So call it started. We here with the councilors. The only ones not here is Councilman Reynolds and Councilman Gregory, our vice president. We have representation from the administrative team here. So we're gonna open this session. We're gonna start with Councilman Carroll, that's on the administrative service, along with myself and Vice President Gregory. And then if anyone else has any questions, and then if anybody from administrative would like to say anything. On your comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The ordinance before us is, or the resolution in ordinance form is simply a request for policy change. It's not a request to do any work. It's not a request to take any other actions to any other boards or things that we have in place right now, but it is a first step measure to allow us to be able to use other resources that we have within the city for redevelopment and restoration of neighborhoods that have been blighted and have not had the ability to receive resources in the form that others have in the past. And the request is just to redefine the central business district and to redefine it as the boundary being 165 north to 65, south to I-10, and back downtown from that area. So we're basically encompassing a larger area of the city. Now, in redefining the central business district, it will give us the opportunity, if we so choose, to use the Downtown Redevelopment Authority's statutes in the future to do work from 3 miles from the central business district, therefore expanding a tool to where we can use capital resources to revitalize neighborhoods from 3 miles from that point. So it allows us to reach areas in Tobinville that we haven't been able to reach before, areas in District 4 and 5 that we haven't been able to reach before, and then stretch us even further out to District 3 so we can use that tool once we get to an opportunity to do that. Now, I'm not saying that we are going to 100% absolutely go forward with that tool at this time, but it'll be a great tool to use. And I want everybody to keep in mind that we have a county commissioner that is currently doing a master plan for MLK that involves neighborhood revitalization, single family living, along with some multifamily living. I want to also remind us that we have so many other revenues that are probably coming through the city's neighborhood revitalization program, that they will be also working, with multifamily housing and other things that they're doing. But we also still have a need for single family homes and also double family homes that have a big need. And this will give us a tool to where we can use that once we, as a council, find the best way forward in order to do that. So that's my request. Just a simple policy change as it comes to defining the central business.
Thank you, Councilman Carroll. Any of my colleagues have anything? Councilman Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Couple questions. I understood you to say that the new central business district, if this is approved, would be bounded by I-65 on the west, 165 on the north, 10 on the south, and Water Street on the east. The river on the east. Okay. I've heard a number of statements from Mr. Carroll about why this would be good for the city, but I haven't heard anyone tell me yet why it would be bad for the city. And is there anyone in the room that can tell me why this would not be a good idea? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I put it like like this, if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna keep on getting the same results. So, I mean, pretty much, I'm glad that Councilman Carroll did bring this forward, because again, it's not only just reaching towards a certain area in Mobile, you're reaching out to the other district, which also includes 5.
Right.
Yeah, and, again, it's something, just doing something different, because again, you keep doing the same thing, you keep on getting the same results, and we know what we're trying to do, is doing something in filling within our city limits, so, thank you, Councilman Carroll.
I appreciate the support on this. Now, just remember that this definition is only in respect to what we're doing with the redevelopment. Because right now, the UDC, that does not hold the same definition as central business district. So as defined when we first wrote it, remember that it only affects this portion of what we're trying to do.
People sometimes forget that, there's a big section of District 5, it's east of I-65.
I got you.
I know.
Councilman Jones.
Pleasant Valley Road.
Honestly, I'm not for or against this. What I'm trying to do is figure out, because I'm hearing 2 different things. When I think of downtown business district, I think business. And then we're talking redevelopment. So what does this do, and what are the impacts to those businesses that are currently outside of the business district? And what, are there any new things they're going to have to do that they're not doing right now, and the impacts to them is what I'm trying to figure out?
Nothing. The only thing we're doing is redefining the boundary. It has no effect on them whatsoever. And to be honest, I mean, right now, if you look at the city's really core business district with its growth, the core really does go up to I-65 and follows it around to I-10 and back around to downtown. So I mean, when you look at it, you're taking in the mall, you're taking in the Dolphin Street corridor up to the Dolphin Street Annex, you're taking in the businesses that are short, long telegraph road and some of that stuff right there. So it does a service that we haven't done in a while. It hadn't been. Now, not to say that our true downtown will always be our true downtown, and it doesn't affect any of that also. But in moving forward, if we choose to use the redevelopment authority and change it and fund it to where it can also do work within the central business district and the downtown redevelopment authority, and then 3 miles outside of it, it gives us a tool that we can use. And not to say that we are gonna do that 100%, but what I would like the council to know that's on my mind is that I wanna partner with the county, I wanna partner with the city, but we're also gonna have to partner with our neighborhood redevelopment program that's going on right now, if this is gonna be a win-win for everybody. Because they can't do everything by themselves, and they can't do all the things they're trying to do with staff they have, but we can provide another resource that makes things go a whole lot better, and we can get things done in density, where we've only been doing things one here, one there, one over here. And I think it's a good move as we move forward. Take a little bit of writing and take a little bit of consensus building between everybody, but I think we can all do it if we all work together on the same page.
Thank you, Councilman Carroll. Anybody from the administration have anything to respond on the city traditions?
And just one add-on to that, I think it's important in that list of folks that are stakeholders, that I think is important as we look at revitalization in this area is the Chamber of Commerce on both sides, the Black Chamber of Commerce and the Mobile Chamber of Commerce. And I say that, one of the greatest impacts as we go to these leaders exchanges and have these discussions is what does the city look like around these businesses? And if there's blight, and if there's, you fly into Mobile, what are you gonna see? You try and put a business up and it's got crime issues, that business is gonna go somewhere else. So I think we need all the stakeholders at the table with this discussion. And let's get some other business partners to pull up beside us with the city administration, with the city council, with the county commission. And let's if we're gonna do this, let's make it a full court press. And let's get all the stakeholders at the table and let's come up with a vision. And let's figure out what that vision looks like, so we can do something worthwhile.
Well, even with that,
Councilman.
Scott, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, you know, I've been on the administration, I know for a fact the last 8 years. And we got a lot of laws in the books, which just gotta be enforced. I mean, of course, when you get to the airport, I mean, that's District 3, but like the guy today, live all the way in New Hampshire somewhere, and still gonna say it's gonna take over 60 days I'm like, you don't live in this neighborhood. But until the city to keep putting pressure on these people, you know, from their own properties and et cetera, to keep them up, we're gonna keep on getting the blight and having businesses that wanna move somewhere else. I mean, right now, we have a prime opportunity to bring up a part of District 4, which will be District 3 in a couple of years. And that's that Morningside community. We got Top Golf get ready to coming up there in the next year. We got the soccer complex in that same neighborhood. We got the aquatic coming up in that same neighborhood. Future water park in that same neighborhood. And until the city start getting on special on these investors to keep up their properties, you know, we're gonna keep on, you know, repeating. We're gonna get right here, but the city has to put it on, you know.
But it's part, it's housing board, you know, a lot of these properties are,
Change my phone. Okay.
it's gonna take care of it. I agree with you, I agree with you that enforcement, we need more enforcement. But I think the housing board has a role to play in taking care of these, properties also. Because a lot of them are subsidized, you know, Section 8 housing.
Yeah, I own Section 8 houses too, but the thing about it is.
But you take care of
Yeah,
yours.
but the rules is, the city got rules on the books saying that they would go after the property owner if trash be outside, et cetera. I'm scared about getting a ticket, so I'm making sure that my tenants keep their stuff up, even though I get Section, you know, 8, but I don't want no ticket. And until the city put the threat on these property owners, we're gonna keep on getting the same thing, you know? It's enforcement.
And I wholeheartedly agree with that, and I think as part of that, we may have a role, and this is why I think we could, what's the vision? Because everything that we're talking about is part of that vision. And we start talking about, you know, these blighted properties and whatnot, I think we need to look at the legislation that's currently in place, and if it doesn't have the teeth that it needs for us to get after where we need to go, then that's something that we can work at, you know, as a partnership with our city and with the state representation, to get us where we need, because we all have problems in each of our districts where we have absentee owners, and they just don't do what they need to do, and it brings the whole community down, and we saw that this morning. And, you know, we need to start sending a message, a very clear message, that, you know, we want our city to look and move, and having blighted properties takes us in the opposite direction. So we all have a part to play there, but if we're letting them keep going without taking action, you know, then we're sending a message as well there. But I think this is a good start, and I'm excited about, you know, seeing how things progress as we move forward.
Thank you to my colleagues, thank you, Councilman Carroll, for putting this policy in place. I think it's definitely gonna benefit our community, and I love the conversation. I think we have to figure out, and I said this before, you know, a plan, a lot of things, like Councilman Small stated, we got on books, but are we implementing? And I think now we need to look at it. Sometimes when you put a plan in place and say, hey, what's taking place this month? What's taking place, so we can kind of look and see it, because I'm glad that Tomaville is now, you know, a part of it, because Highway 45 comes through the Tomaville community. That people are entering the city of Mobile, and if we don't have the businesses there, or we don't have the home, people are seeing this. They seeing it blighted properties, and if we put something in place to create change, then now that community is growing, but not just that community, but the whole city is growing. And I believe this tool will definitely help that. So, any other concerns or questions or statements at this time?
Just one, I see Jamie from the, I don't know what they call it now, neighborhood revitalization. Neighborhood development. Jamie, it seems that there's consensus on the council to do some of the things that I've talked about. So I'll send a request to the administration to where we can sit down and write a plan that works both ways, to where there'll be a joint effort between neighborhood development, conjunction with the RDA, and to make sure that we're also fit within, in District 2, Merced's vision too of her redevelopment of those neighborhoods also, because it all has to work together, and the laws all need to work for everybody. So I'll send that, let's see if we can all sit down and find a consensus on how to make it work.
Alright, any other statements? Alright, if not, call this Entitlement Committee closed. Thank you.
Very good meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Good job. I'm still in awe of that pink jacket.
120.